Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. And we're zooming in and focusing in on a super important topic and concept that comes to understanding the dynamic you might find yourself involved in, enmeshed in, undergirding your best interest when you are in a relationship with someone who is malignant, someone who is narcissistic, manipulative, pathological, or psychopathic, someone who has been manipulative of you, and you find yourself really entrenched and in a relationship where you're being overprotective of this toxic individual. Overprotective, making excuses for them. Well, making statements. Oh, well, maybe this one time. Maybe it was just that. Maybe I'm being oversensitive. Maybe I'm demanding. Maybe I'm asking too much. The overprotectiveness. Yeah, let me go without, a card for this holiday. Let me go without a gift. Let me go without the dinner. Let me go without the kiss and the hug. It's okay. It's okay. As long as we're together, I will make that sacrifice. I don't need conversation. I don't need hello. I don't need a little note. I don't need a happy text. I don't need even a positive greeting. Don't worry about me. This is the overprotective behavior that those enablers, those people who are empathetic, those people who end up being narcissists apply ultimately to a malignant individual, a narcissist, or even a psychopath definitely find themselves caught up in and enmeshed in this dynamic. But before we get started on today's topic, I want to give a super huge shout out to those of you who have recently donated to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your kind words. And it's an honor and a privilege to be able to host these sessions and uplift and inspire. It is very difficult to find people who really get it, so that is absolutely why we have established the channel. And whether you've been with me for a couple of years, a couple days, a couple minutes, or a couple months, thank you so much for your viewership. It's great to hear from you. And absolutely positively, if we have been a positive influence, please do feel free to support the channel and participate at the PayPal Donate Now button here at the Peace and Harmony channel. So we're really getting involved in understanding the cause that creates the effect that we find ourselves in this relationship, so you can really heal and heal for good. So you're not staying stuck. You're not staying stuck in a rut. You're not stuck asking the wrong questions. Why me? Woe is me. Poor me. Pity party me. You don't want to get stuck, even though those statements might feel good. They, it might kind of cause you to feel sorry for yourself, which you need to have compassion and empathy for yourself. But these statements, if repeated over and over and over, just keep you stuck. They keep you in the same place. They keep you wounded. They keep you open to more victimization. They keep you open to low self-esteem. They keep you open to poverty, emotional bankruptcy, spiritual bankruptcy. They keep you down and out. They keep you unhappy. They keep your frown lines getting deeper and deeper. They make your energy go worse and worse. They cause disease and dysfunction, not only in the relationship, but your physical body. And I've got news for you folks. You only get one of these. You get one heart, you get one stomach, you get two eyes, two ears. You only get one body though. And if you're don't understand that there's a correlation between your spiritual, emotional, and the physical, it's very important that you understand the connection. It's not like, your emotions are separate from your body. They are encased and housed in all the trillions and trillions of cells. They affect your respiration. They affect your heart. They affect how you hold your musculature. They hold the expressions on your face. They express your appetite. They affect your sleeping. They affect your behaviors and choices. They keep you doing the same thing or getting worse and worse and worse, going further along the path, what I call negative orderly direction, to the point where you find yourself in some really valley moments. Valley moments being very down, very out, very kind of feeling far from optimism. really down in the trenches. And then, struggle and then happiness and unfulfillment becomes a way of life. And so then life becomes nothing but a whole conglomerate of coping mechanisms. I'm going to cope here, so I can cope here, so I can cope here. And pretty much all you see and all you get is you trying to adjust and make adjustments to this toxic individual. Eventually, all you're doing is making accommodations and adjustments to them, their personality, their needs, and pretty much all you're doing is living as a reactionary being to them. Meaning it's never really about you, and you become so acclimated and so accustomed to and so used to never getting the long end of the stick, never getting the hug, never getting the smile, that you get so remote from it that you become disconnected to your true needs until eventually something hits a rock bottom. You're like, something needs to happen here. We need to change something. This ain't working. I'm looking at the calculations in the tabs of what I'm coming out with in the relationship, and it ain't nothing. I really am not getting anything from this. I'm getting, I've adjusted, made too many adjustments. I've overprotected this individual, made too many excuses, given them too much slack to the point where I've negated myself. And I have lived in a deficit, a physical deficit, an emotional deficit, a financial deficit. You're so remote, removed that you don't know what it is that you're even missing. Have you ever heard it say, wow, you don't eat meat, you don't know what you're missing, or you've never traveled, you don't know what you're missing. You hear these little glimpses, and then pretty soon it becomes excuses to you. Not me, I don't deserve to live the good life. I will never live a life of health. I will never live a life of fulfillment. Things will never manifest for me. I don't, it's not meant for people like me. So you begin to then give up. Giving up is not the right answer to the equation. It does not add up. A plus B should not equal M. You giving up, that should not be how you calculate things. That is a sure sign of being in a state of emotional deprivation or neglect or codependency or sort of, adaptive and defensive behavior that you have to make, especially for the inconsistency that you see in the positive experience with a malignant individual. Someone who has got you basically enmeshed and entrenched. So you no longer identify with your needs, your happiness, your own communication style, your own strengths. Those have been so diluted, so crushed down, so broken down that they no longer have bearing. They no longer have substance. They no longer have being. And this is unequivocally an unhappy way to live life. And until really, something really dawns on you, you really have an aha moment. You say, I can't believe I did this again. I can't believe I made excuses for them again. I can't believe I gave in again. And then getting the anger, and then just getting angry, but not really going anywhere. Just, you're still spinning your wheels, but you've got your foot on the gas and you're just digging yourself deeper in the hole. It's to understand that part of the result or dynamic from these relationships, whether it's with a covert narcissist, someone who's been very distant, but there's an inconsistency where they might be there for certain things, but it certainly is not a great deal of the time. And you don't want to really sort of admit the truth because the truth hurts. But have you also heard that no matter how painful it is, the truth will set you free? And ultimately what freedom means is being able to enjoy the good life, to be able to be loved, to be able to live in your strength, to be able to live in your purpose, to be able to live freely, to be authentic, and to ask for what it is that you deserve, and to behave in the manner that gets you what you deserve, not in an angry, raging fashion as a reaction to their negativity, but is in a proactive means. In other words, being proactive for yourself. Enough is enough. Never again is now. Enough with the overprotecting of this individual, making excuses, I don't really need that. Denying your own needs, living in a state of denial. That pucker face, that down and out, and then, the tears of sadness become a replacement for the tears of joy. And then eventually people who then end up becoming self-injury to themselves, or getting in these accidents, or somehow breaking, something very important to you, it becomes a manifestation of the self-fulfilling prophecy, that I am wounded, because deep within, your subconscious knows what's going on. Deep within you, you know the truth. The truth cannot be separated from you in your body. It'll eventually show itself. It'll eventually bubble to the surface. It'll rear its head. Okay, you will unequivocally not be able to live and tolerate this. There becomes an intolerance, and you might suffer in that in-between stage where it gets really difficult. The devalue and then the discard. When you're being devalued, and also, when you're kind of coming through the love bombing and then the devaluing, is when you really get into the overprotective. Oh, you want to be needed. You kind of deep within, your intuition knows. Okay, your intuition knows, whether you listen to it and heed it or not, deep way back when, your intuition, your gut, your heart knew that there was something awry, something a little off, but deep in your mind you said, you know what, I'm going to protect this relationship. No worry, let me just give you a longer back scratch. No worry, let me make you a better dinner. No worry, let me just get you a better gift. That's okay, let me just fail in school. That's okay, let me not go for the job. That's okay, don't let me to learn this second language. I don't need to travel. It's okay, I've got enough. And then pretty soon, those statements get worse and worse and worse, and you get farther and farther and farther removed and remote from your emotional and passionate life. You're sort of living the passion, the Christ passion, your purpose, your mission, your essence, the Christ within you, whatever you want to call it, the Buddha within you, whatever you call it in your culture, you call it something. And if you don't call it something, you might as well call it something, because there is divine and divinity and love running through you. It is undeniably, inexplicably, if you are empathetic and you found yourself in a relationship in the trenches, enmeshed, you're unequivocally a divine being. And that is the truth and reality which you have not been able to live, realize, or express when you're in deep with these individuals. You are in a state of, as I call it, emotional asphyxiation. You're not breathing in the good life. You're not breathing in the good oxygen. Your breathing is shallow. You've got back problems. You've got neck problems. You've got diseases, from carrying your body in the hunched over, compressed mode. You're not able to see the beauty in life. You're always looking down, always, kind of not having deliberate, cultivation of your strengths, not being surrounded by people who reinforce that, always looking at the ugly, always looking at the bad news, looking for more affirmation of how horrible life is. Look at the news, look at this, look at the poverty, look at the violence, look at this. You're constantly reinforcing the negative within you, and then that becomes a lifestyle. Woe is me, poor me, I will never be able to change my circumstance. It'll never happen. And you begin to, this is called your internal self-talk. And you can basically talk yourself out of a good life. You can talk yourself out of a good day. You can talk yourself out of a bad meal. You can talk yourself out of a bad year. You can unequivocally make yourself sick through the words that you speak. And then the relationships that you then find yourself in, and then the prosperity that you find yourself in, the wealth, the emotional wealth, the good, happy, healthy relationships. You can talk yourself out of all of this and never getting able to live your life the way that the divine God, Jesus, has intended you to know it. The pleasure principle. People who are overprotective make excuses and enable. So in other words, they're internalizing that negativity and then reinforcing it and then becoming more negative to yourself in order to prove them right. See, they know better. And the problem with the relationship with those manipulative individuals is that oftentimes you're able to be overprotective by them and adjust and accommodate by saying, well, what do you think? What do you want to do? What is right for me? Never sort of asserting your own opinion, never asserting your own needs, not being able to air that out, not being able to speak that into existence. Because unequivocally, when you're with a manipulative individual who is in it for their own interests and not for yours, they will unequivocally take and exploit your vulnerability and your need for connection. They know that you have an inherent need to be connected, to be warm, and so they will then see, aha, look, I've got this person protecting me. If I treat them worse, then you're training them. Hey, give me a longer back rub. Hey, make me a better dinner. Give me a better gift. Do more for the kids. Don't worry, you don't need to travel. And meanwhile, they're cheating on the side, getting a pay increase, not having to do any of the work, not having to do any of the dirty work, not having to do all the legwork. Meanwhile, they're just traveling, whatever. They're just, retreating into their study, retreating into the basement, doing whatever on the weekends. And here you are empty-handed. Well, maybe one more holiday, maybe next time. This is unequivocally the overprotective relating style. And then it becomes an avoidant relating style for you, where then you avoid moving on, avoid facing the truth, avoid facing the facts, avoid giving yourself the love, avoid giving yourself the warmth, avoid giving yourself the prosperity, the relationships, the environment, the house, the job that you want. This is a problem, especially when there's a lot of inconsistencies. And then you will also oftentimes deliberate and then hesitate with this. You don't know if they're going to be happy. You don't know if they're going to be mad. You don't know if they're going to be here. You don't know if they're going to be there. You don't know if they're going to be drunk. You don't know if they're going to be sober. You don't know if they're cheating. You don't know if they're loyal. So, this then becomes an avoidant way of relating. And then you begin then to avoid taking care of yourself, seeing if maybe then I'll get their attention if I'm sick. That does not unequivocally work. The narcissist and the psychopath will unequivocally not be there for you in your unhealthy moments. They might put up a facade. They might be there, but really, when you really look at it, oftentimes they're not really going to be there. They're kind of, embarrassed. They kind of, become weak, especially the covert narcissist. They will try to do something, but they'll be a sure failure. They'll give like 1 ounce of effort. You're not going to get a lot of effort out of these people. You're not going to get, they're not going to go the distance. They're not going to give you that time. They're not going to give you that conversation. They're not going to give you that guidance. If they do, it'll unequivocally break. The gift that they give you will break. The information that they give you will be, not really work for you. But you're trying to grab onto straws. And so really to uplift yourself, you really need to stop protecting them. As difficult as this is, you've got people who are ultra protective. This is my baby. This is my boo-boo. This is my poopsie, whatever. This is my, little, whatever you call them. This is my sweet pea. This is my love of my life. All those little tender things that you used to call them can also be a problem with why you tend to overprotect them. This is my fixer-upper. This is who I am enabling. You have to kind of be able to look and be rigorously honest with yourself, even no matter how much it hurts. And say, what? Even though it seems odd, maybe I'm going to try stopping protecting them. I'm going to stop always being there for them. I'm going to stop over-obligating. I'm going to stop being trampled over. I'm going to stop breaking my back. I'm going to stop closing my heart off. I'm going to start living the good life. I'm going to start, turning on my inner flame. I'm going to stop gazing upon that relationship and I'm going to go no contact. And instead, every time I have an impetus or a urge to protect them, to go back to these old ways, negative orderly direction thinking, just think, if I continue to do this for the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, where is it going to get me? Is it going to get me deeper in the valley, or is it going to get me to the mountaintop? Is it going to get me jumping for joy, or is it going to get me cringing with fear and abandonment and isolated and empty and lonely and unhappy? Are my frown lines going to get super bad? Am I going to get more in debt, more in poverty? Or am I going to go in positive, orderly direction thinking, what I call positive, orderly direction thinking, or pod thinking, behaving, choosing, and feeling? Am I going to decide and make a deliberate choice when I'm at the crossroads, when I'm at what Sandler calls wimp junction? Am I going to wimp out? Am I going to wussy out? Or am I going to be bold? Am I going to, take a stand? Am I going to think differently? And I'm going to ask myself different questions. What can I do to provide myself a better choice? How can I effectively deal with this? If they push, am I going to push back, or am I going to pull everything back to my side? And make sure that it's now the power is within me. I'm not going to ask, what do they think? I'm not going to be overprotective. I'm going to seek this out and become self-fulfilling, positive prophecy. And I'm going to gaze upon what I can really do to make myself feel like $1,000,000, to feel lovable and loved, to feel strong and intelligent. What can I do that can nurture that within me? And so I stop looking to them and stop overprotecting. Instead, how can I get that back and self-protect myself? Now that I know that I need to actually protect myself the way I've been trying to support them, even if this has been 30 years in the making, okay, how can I now support myself, improve my own life, think about me first? How can I do that and unequivocally not feel bad, guilty, fearful for doing that? Because a lot of people, when they're in that transition, they actually feel, this is wrong. I'm going to lose this person. Well, look at what it's doing to you and how it has affected you and eroded you and corroded you, and how you have lived in denial and been deprived by trying to stay in that rut. Unequivocally, I'm out of the rut. You need to make a declaration and deliberately get out of that wimp junction. Nope, not going there. I'm not going to go, I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm not going to emotionally starve anymore. Nope, I'm going to go and I'm going to make new relationships. I'm going to comfort myself. I'm going to protect myself, and I'm going to know what those choices and behaviors look like. What gives me that feeling where I feel warm, happy, connected to life again? Is it a hike outside? Is it a great stretch? I am alive. Is it affirmations? I am alive. And can I get myself to do 10 jumping jacks and just say, I am alive. I am alive. I am seizing life. Carpe diem. I'm seizing it today. In this moment, in this minute, I am not waiting any longer. Enough is enough. I've had it. I'm done. Finito. I'm out of here. Elvis has left the building. Here's the quarter. Call someone who cares. Boom, done. Boom, done. Okay, done means done. It doesn't mean, well, maybe, if I overprotect you some more, if I, support you some more, if I give you more congratulations, more whatever. Nope, pull it back. How can I pull it back? If they've pushed, how can I then pull things back to my side so I've got the reins back? So I'm actually leading myself like a horse to better waters, to better fields. Can I actually do something that really enlivens and invigorates me? If you like horses, go pet a horse. Go to a horse farm. Say, hello, Mr. Farmer. How do you do? I would like to learn, horse ride. I would like to take equestrian therapy. I would like to do whatever. I would like to work here. I would like to learn how to make saddles. I would like to do something. Whatever your passion is, whatever it is that you have denied yourself. Maybe you want to go snorkeling, scuba diving. Maybe you're like, you know what? I'm finally going to book that exotic trip. Wherever it is, Aruba, Fiji, wherever it is, the Mayan ruins, the Egyptian ruins, the pyramids, where have you always wanted to go? Maybe it's someplace from your own heritage. Maybe you want to go to Italy. Maybe you want to go to Rome. Maybe you want to go to Spain. Maybe you want to go to the Virgin Islands and just live an indulgent life. Maybe you want to go to Fiji. Maybe you want to earn the money so you can do these things. Then unequivocally, today is the day. This is the information age. We are so very fortunate. This time in life is creating more information and resources at your fingertips. So take advantage of that. Find ways and means to then take care of yourself. And do it, have your short term as well as your long term. So short term can be, you know what, enough is enough. I'm getting rid of all this clutter, or I'm getting rid of all the junk that this person has put in my house, or the junk thoughts. I'm getting rid of those, and I'm now replacing them with affirmations. Maybe, you know, if you like to have, you know, flowers, you know, can I go get a 1-bud vase and go get a 1-bud, you know, flower and just put it so it reminds me that I am loved? What little things make you feel just really, really, you know, indulgent? Is it a new pair of socks? Is it a new blanket? Is it redoing your bathroom? Is it just getting a couple of candles and lighting them and playing some soft music? What can you do in the short term? Maybe there's something you need to get rid of or add to your environment, to your life, to your diet, to your skills that you can then pick up. You know, wherever it is, even if it's something remedial, I need to learn typing. I need to learn how to write. I need to learn how to read. I need to learn a second language. You know, I need to, you know, become employed, or I need to improve my employment. All these are things, especially with the new year, where you begin anew, you begin afresh. Be able to check within instead of checking out. Where you know, previously had asked the narcissist or this toxic individual what they thought, and they shot you down, begin to ask, well, what do I think? What can I do to raise the bar for myself so I'm actually getting my needs met, not only met, but exceeded? And how can I ask the universe to show me the clues? Unequivocally, if I believe that love runs through me, then show me a sign. Show me a solution. Let me hear and receive a solution. And unequivocally, if you do mindfulness meditation, you know, guided meditation, you can find a ton of those here on YouTube, where you can, you know, follow your intuition, your spirit guides, listen to the Christ within you. You can do these and then begin to listen to your inner voice. Begin to sit in quietness, even if it begins with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a whole day, where you're really in that sort of theta and delta state brainwave, where you're more receptive. You're not agitated, you're not angry, you're not sputtering out what they call the monkey brain and regretting the past or fearful of the future. You're in the present moment and you're doing it now. Maybe you need to get the keys, put them in the ignition, and get something that changes up your life. Go someplace, take yourself out on that recovery date. And a viewer had asked, you know, what does it mean by taking positive action to create a new foundation of memories within yourself? So it's unequivocally letting go of the events that created the negative body-mind connection, which keeps you in that same feeling state, be state, and I am state that was imposed on you from the narcissist, the covert narcissist. I am lonely. I am waiting for you. I'm waiting for approval. I'm waiting for the love. I'm waiting for this. All those negative B states that keep you ruminating and stuck, unequivocally, it is letting go and stop calling that into being, and instead creating a whole new set of I ams when you go no contact. You need to do this. A lot of people are fearful. They have obligation and guilt. They have a fog. Fear, obligation, and guilt. If this is holding you back, unequivocally, then you can prescribe to yourself, unequivocally, these negative emotions are holding me back. It's time for me to replace these with the positive. That is your anecdote. That is your alchemy. That is your alchemization. It is taking all that negative fodder and transforming and transmuting it into the gold. Living the good life, you know, being golden, close to the light, lightness and effervescence of being, feeling buoyant, feeling like you're going in the right direction and your life is in a new level. taking your life to a new quantum energy, which means when you finally allow and you finally surrender and you finally give up the struggle and you finally let it go and you say, God, please, the Christ energy, the divine energy, please be the wind underneath my wings. Please be the wind that runs my spirit. Please, take the wheel, take the helm, show me where to go. Please allow me to feel my intuition again and allow my intuition to be clear and consistent. And please show me what to do and remove the fear. Please remove the obligation and remove the guilt so I am able to be liberated to live this life. And if you kind of feel like your life is turning upside down, that's a great feeling. If you find yourself getting rid of a lot of junk or getting, infusing it with the new food, new feelings, new journeys, new friendships, then unequivocally you're on the right path. Protect yourself. Stop protecting the perpetrator. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace out. Love you.